Hi everyone, this is Karak from Angry Centaur Gaming. You may know me from my new award-winning documentary, Jesus, This Can't Be Real, the true stories of the Japanese cuddling industry. And today I'm perplexed, puzzled, and actually a little bit perturbed when I bring you the review for The Old City Leviathan, a game on Steam that was released yesterday into the world of man. Sometimes described as a walking simulator, The Old City Leviathan does itself no favors by unleashing gamers directly into the narrative thicker than a Game of Thrones novel and at times about as action-packed as math homework. But is The Old City Leviathan really a secretly packaged and prepared visual descent into madness like watching In the Mouth of Madness or Event Horizon with the voices off? Or is it a clumsy attempt at next-generation narrative that leaves gamers clueless but at least happy with the overall package? Let's check it out. As always, this review is caffeinated, which means no nets nor neutral gear as it flows at full speed down my crazy pipes and into your ear holes. Hang on to your butts, it's graphics time. So honestly, The Old City of Leviathan may be many things, and in the future it might be called many things, both good and bad, but I don't think it will ever be called ugly, though at times low polygon and at other times showing off a low texture or two like kindergarten flashcards. Ultimately, the level design and structure bring this game full circle into amazing land, with a stop-off at What the Fuckville. Imagine exploring an apocalyptic city built by Escher, run by a paranoid Hall of Mirrors operator, and both of them have been freebased in DMT for the last 6 months while doing shots of rubbing alcohol, if that's even possible. Who knows, but some of this shit is crazy anyway. The world is simply a warped funhouse of leaps into the abyss, underwater explorations, where massive creatures move subtly in the distance. It's a mixture of Stephen King, Cthulhu, and someone's fever dream, all set to fairly extraordinary level design and lighting. One moment you're basking in the warmth of the sun as it seems to fight an almost impossible battle to shine onto small snippets of the world around you, and the next moment you're staring speechless at the rendition of a child's bedroom replete with stuffed toys and psychotic drawings and poems just laying about like someone gave birth to the Antichrist and forgot him in the bedroom for a couple months. The game is both disconcerting and wonderful at the same time, and though it wasn't perfect, I have to admit it was a goddamned wonder to behold visually, despite a couple missteps. Sound, music, and voice. There's very little sound here, the occasional door opening and closing, some environmental sounds creeping in when needed, and an occasional discernible footstep. It makes me wonder if the designers did this on purpose, because had there been a large amount of noise in the game, I feel both the narration and music would have actually been thrown off. There's something muted here, like the sounds in a person's dream, and if they didn't do it on purpose, they lucked into awesome like a kid with a golden spoon. The way sound is handled both simply excels and also lodges the player into the mystery of what is going on, what may be, and what is. I really, really like the sound. Music. It's throbby, atmospheric, and at the same time haunting and eerie. It mimics the locations perfectly, and it does exactly what music needs to do. It lodges you deep into the game's locations without overexerting itself or showing off. Simply great stuff throughout, and suitably moody without the dark eye mascara. Voice.
Perhaps I should kill myself. It's a rather funny thought, actually. The standard reason for suicide entails depression. A sad portrait of a weak mind. But my desire for death is far more utilitarian. I feel as though I am useless. And I gather that this feeling is similar to what the others have felt. I do not suppose that any of them felt any particular brand of gloom before the end. Just a single shade of gray. At any rate, I prefer this situation to its emotional alternative.
See, this is going to be really subjective. At first, the almost consistent narrative really bothered me, not because the voice actor was poor, in fact I found him rather excellent, but because the story is told like Russell Brand hopped up on foreign chemicals would tell you his life story, straight into the middle, then uncovering little bits and pieces, and then finding yourself at the end and wondering what the hell you learned because most of it was told to you too quickly with a heavy accent. Except here, replace the heavy accent with insanely deep vocabulary usage that at times may actually have some gamers diving for a dictionary. However, as I continued, as more and more was uncovered, the game's narrative began to take hold, and I really have to say, for that, I think the voice is excellent. Gameplay. This walking simulator or story simulator, you know what, call it whatever you want. The game doesn't fit almost anything I've played before. An interweaving mix of vocal narrative, hundreds of pages of scattered writing, and graffiti all unravel around you as you travel through the world. As each piece comes together, your brain automatically has to sort it, and after about 30 minutes, I have to say I was completely hooked. Trying to find the narrative connections between the graffiti on the wall, a stone statue pointing at something missing, the voice of the narrator, and the location itself. The game's narrative is a setting of some kind after the apocalypse in something like sort of unfun land, with the story being woven not only by the placement of items, but your own traveling through the world, meaning you will miss some sections, and some sections will be delivered to you out of order. As I progressed, I began to really wonder what this was. Was it steampunk Cthulhu, Stephen King's supernatural horror mixed with absinthe, steampunk survivalist? Intensely captivating doesn't go far enough to explain just how the story unfolds, and I found myself thinking, okay, now I think I sort of get what happened here. And then the next second thinking, what in the holy hell happened here? Is it ancient myth, supernatural intensity, brain exploration? Hell, even after I'm done, I'm actually not quite sure. You walk around the world listening to the narrative and exploring the strange environments, and that's pretty much it. Action-packed, though, this game isn't. And that's where we get to fun factor. You know, here's the dinger. For all the intensity of my own interest in the story, I felt a bit like that first date with a girl that isn't so attractive, but I had everything in common with. It was interesting, engaging, but ultimately not hot. The game isn't about fun, really, unless piecing together monkey babble, gravity, and apocalyptic writing sounds like a damn roller coaster to you. This game won't speak to many people in the fun factor department, I don't think, at all. Then again, the more I played, the more I wasn't entirely sure the developers gave a shit. So for fun factor, I'd say probably not for everybody. I enjoyed it, though. So what does the old city Leviathan do right? You know, atmosphere is through the roof, plain and simple. The music's great. The narrative was insanely interesting to me. And the levels are simply a joy to explore. What does the old city do wrong? You know, its lack of direction could really hurt it with some gamers. I can see a lot of people just plain and simple not liking it. And it won't ever raise your heartbeat above REM sleep. So I rate games on a buy, wait for a sale, or banish the game to the depths of oblivion rating scale. For $11.24 on Steam, this game is actually a buy. Listen, some people are going to call this game boring. They'll be right. Some will call it amazing and insightful. They'll be right. Some will wonder if they're crazy. Am I crazy? Someone out there has to be crazy because the game got made and it's sort of crazy. They'll also be right. If you like point-and-click adventures, this might not be for you. If you expect your first-person adventure games to have by-the-minute scares or 45 variants of the M16 rifle, this probably isn't for you either. But if you like exploration, exploratory narrative, and a bit of a mind warp at the end of your investment, then this game is solidly, emphatically for you. It's a game made for a very specific subset of gamers, and I have to say today is a goddamn good day for those folks, as few as there might be out there. So that's it as always. If you liked the video, hit like. If you disliked it, hit dislike. And remember this, if Sam Neill's in any movie, that movie's about people going batshit insane. Yeah, even Jurassic Park. I mean, those guys thought dinosaurs had come back. Peace out.